So, first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Raniel Esabero and I am from Negros Oriental State University, taking Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. And one of the major requirements for our literature class is to share a story to strangers. So that's why napunta karon to share with you a story that is quite timely and relevant to today's society. So, okay ko ana I made ako an brochure. Let's get to it. So the title of the story is That Constant Beyond Love, and it's a story by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Do you happen to know this writer? Wala. So first, allow me to provide you with the synopsis or sort of like the summary of the story. So the story revolves around a 40-year-old senator by the name Senator Onesimo Sanchez, 42 years old senator named Senator Onesimo Sanchez, and he is a senator, of course, a person who has a lot of resources, money, and kanang power and influence as well. But despite all of these luxurious things that Senator Sanchez has, he cannot deny the fact or the fate that he only has 6 months and 11 days to live na lang. But regardless of that fact, Senator Sanchez did not stop to gain power, because regardless of knowing that he only has 6 months and 11 days to live, he still tried to run for office and to be re-elected as a senator. So during his campaign period, he went to this fictional city called Rosal del Ferry. So this is basically a fictional city. Then when he went to this city, his campaign was actually very grand. Of course, he has money, he has influence, he has power. So, grand kayo ang iyahang campaign. You know what? He actually rented Indians just to enlarge his crowds. Nag-rent siya mga Indian to enlarge his crowd. And after that, while giving his speech, there was this guy named Nelson Farina. Nelson Farina is actually a murderer from other city, and immigrated ni siya dito sa Rosal del Ferry. Then he always goes to the campaign of Senator Sanchez, because he had a favor to ask to Senator Sanchez, and that is to issue him with a false identification card, because again he was a murderer. So ganun siya ma-issue siya false identification card. Pero Senator Sanchez always rejects that ang iyahang request. Yan we always reject. But then one day during the campaign, when Senator Sanchez met Nelson Farina after giving his speech, as much as he wanted to walk past through him, he could not. Why? Because si Nelson Farina, which was the murderer, na siya usa ka daughter, which was a very beautiful 19-year-old girl. Dayon, si Senator Sanchez, isang 42-year-old siya, happily married with 4 children. He fell in love with that 19-year-old girl. Then after anang sa ilahang tokay, pagka night ato, i-invite niya si Farina, the girl, dito sa ilahang young office or sa iyang girentahan nga place. Then there, he attempted to touch 19-year-old girl. He attempted to touch her, make love with her, but he was unsuccessful because naay-giwear si Farina, katong Farina nga girl, nga usa ka iron something nga galak sa iyang underwear bitaw. Then that made Sanchez very angry. Dayon, the girl told him nga he can only unlock this, or the key to this iron, something that is sa iyang underwear, kay nasa possession sa iyang father, which was the murderer. Dayon, if he wanted to open that one, then he should issue his father the false identification card. Meaning to say, use tong 19-year-old girl, si Laura Farina by the way. Then, without any hesitation, we agree na si Senator Sanchez, to issue a false identification card dito sa father ni Laura Farina, which was the murderer. Then, after 6 months, namatay ang senator, si Senator Sanchez, and the only regret that he had was that si Laura Farina is wala ni kuyog niya pagkamatay. Meaning to say, buhay na Japan si Laura Farina. Now, let's go with the analysis of the kanang this short story. So first, I want you to read the first line. There is a notable lines. It says there nga, before he lay down, he put in a glass of drinking water, the rose he had kept alive all across the desert. Meaning to say, si Senator Sanchez, kato niya ato siya sa Rosal del Valle, which was a very humid place. Kadala siya sa ka-rose. And ang rose is kalamat yun na ang rose. Ay kanagay bitang nalaos na pero na totally nga namatay pa. Pero he attempted to save that rose or to keep it alive by putting it in a glass of water. Then, what can we associate with the rose ana ang gibutang sa water? We should take note nga the fact nga iyahang gibutang ang rose sa vase or sa water, it means that he is trying to save, or ang rose in itself is dying. Kalamat yun ang rose. Meaning to say that we can associate rose with death. Diba? Associate ito ang rose at death. Another thing is that the fact nga iyahang i-try untag save ang rose, it also implies na he is also trying to keep it alive. Diba? Yang ganan siyang mabuhay na Japon ang rose. So what does this tell to the persona? Let's find out later on. Pero unsay nahitabo sa rose? According to the second line, the senator followed the thread of her look and finally found the rose that had been tarnished by the saltpeter. Meaning to say, ang rose, bisag niya pang gitry o save, namatay ra Japon. Meaning to say, ang rose, it also signifies that death is inevitable. So what does this tell to the author? Meaning to say nga, there is probably, or there is a tendency that the fact that the persona in the story wanted to save the rose, it also implies that the author, Marquez the author, would want to defy the truth of death, that death in itself is inevitable. Meaning to say nga, si Marquez, ganandagay siya nga, i-defy niya nga, dapat walay death, dapat mabuhay na pa always. And as I've searched the biography of Marquez, I found a sort of like connection. Kaya bata pa lang si Marquez, he lived with his grandparents. And it's actually his grandparents that motivated him to write stories. Then after that, at the age of 8, namatay ang grandparents. Then maybe, incorporating the theme of death or defying death, the nature of death, is the unconscious desire of Marquez to live with his grandparents for a longer time, or for his grandparents to have a longer life. So that's how like I am actually using the psychoanalytic theory in critiquing a text. So what to siya? Then another it says here that then came the trucks with the rented Indians who were carried into the towns in order to enlarge the crowds at public ceremonies. So, si Senator Sanchez is ga-rent siya mga Indians. So what does the phrase rented Indians imply? It implies nga ang mga Indians is pros lang mga object na pwede rin mong abangan, pwede rin mo silang i-manipulate. Diba kayo mo siya ginentahan? Ikaw, masugot ka nga rintahan ka? No, really. Pero it says here nga Senator Sanchez, he rented Indians. What does this imply? This actually mirrors the Western notion that Indians or even the native people of countries in Asia, just like the Philippines, sa una, for example, during the Spanish period, ang ilang panantaw sa atua, kailang gipang-colonize is murag tag mga object nga pwede nila i-control, inana. So murag kaning nga line diri sa story, it reflects that particular notion. Then another, there is a line ani dere. It says here nga, there was a pattern to his circus. As he spoke, his aides threw clusters of paper birds into the air, and the artificial creatures took on life. flew about the platform of lungs and went out to the sea. So when you talk about paper birds, tinuod ni siya nga birds. Dili, di ba? Katag siya mga artificial. When we say artificial, kasi mabutang na sa kuan atong minds. Meaning, it's a lie. It's a lie. So meaning, during his campaign, nagpalupad siya mga artificial flowers. Meaning, ang yung ipalupad is mga all are lies. And this actually mirrors the Western notion na pwede na silang mulay sa ilang mga i-colonize. Just like for example, the Spanish colonizers dito sa Philippines, sikirta nila ilay nga ang ilahang intention dito was to spread Christianity. But what happened? There were abuse, there were exercise of power, dehumanize niya ang mga Filipinos. So po na siya this short story kind of like reflect that Western notion of Indian people or of people who were once colonized by Western powerful countries in the past. So po na siya. So maybe ang overall meaning sa text, ang text is ganahan siya nga kita as readers, we should make change. We should aim for a more just society. Pero po siya like indirect nga message sa short story. Then another last one, ato siya akong gigamit ato nga lens is the post-colonialist lens. It basically discuss the results of colonization. So ito siya nga lens ato. Kani siya nga last line through the Marxist theory. Kabalo mo Marxism about the kuan kana the notion of the proletariat and the bourgeoisie. Atong mga capitalist, mga working class. Ay, di ba kana siya? Muna siya, i-critique nato po siya nga story using this lens. It says here, it was an unavoidable stop in the electoral campaign that he made every 4 years. The carnival wagons had arrived in the morning. Then came the trucks with the rented Indians who were carried into towns in order to enlarge the crowds at public ceremonies. Shortly before 11 o'clock, along with the music and rockets and chips of the retinue, the ministerial automobile, the color of the strawberry soda arrived. Senator Onesimo Sanchez was placid and weatherless inside the air-conditioned car. So unsay ma-picture out ninyo ni Senator Sanchez as a senator, as a person? Dato siya, di ba? Because he can afford to rent, na siya sa air condition. So basically, Senator Sanchez is a rich politician and it is reflected in the story of what a rich politician can do. But, what if si Senator Sanchez kay pobre siya? Makarent ba siya ng mga Indians? Makabuyo ba siya sa kuan? No, di ba? So basically, the text shows to us nga ang mga rich politicians, they can do this, they can afford this. Kung dili ni siya ma-afford sa mga tao nga nasa working class, who would want to run for a position sa politics? Dili dyan na siya may tabo. And what if for si Senator Sanchez, do you think nga muran pa siya for politics? Bisag kabalo siya nga na siya sakit? Dili na, di ba? If dili pa siya rich and if he did not, hungered for more power, then perhaps he could have spent more time with his wife, with his children, because we know for a fact that he's married and has children. So if pobre pa siya, if pobre pa ang character sa story, then meaning to say na mas focus na lang siya sa iyang kaugalingon, mas spend na lang niya iyang time with his family rather than gain pa siya power nga kabalo naman siya mamatay siya, then ang bulong ko din siya laing babae. So that's the Marxist approach. What could have been the plot of the story if the character is poor? Well, of course, Lucky June, diba? So that's it. That's the story of That Constant Beyond Love, and we critique it through 3 different literary lenses. We have the Marxist, post-colonialist, and we also have the psychoanalytic theory. Then, if you would want to read the whole story, kay nakikwanto rin ibutang QR code, then it would be direct you to the story, to the full text. So that's it, guys, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.